What's up, Buttercups? Hope you guys are having an amazingly golden day with cherries on top today. My name is Elvis, this is the Golden Drive, and that is a Porsche 911 from 1988. And behind me is Core, and so in this video, we are gonna be reviewing this car, checking it out, telling you guys what I think about it, going over the exterior impressions, what I think of the interior, the driving impressions, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So with that said, let's get started. What are we looking at? Tell me about it.
1988 911, Vancouver car.
Okay.
Black on black, sport seats. Has 190,000 kilometers on it, and basically all original.
This car looks amazing.
It does. I had to take. I was taking a picture.
Oh, look at it! It is just amazing. And you're saying it is completely stock.
It's a
mostly
stock car. We changed the radio in the car, but yeah, it's basically a stock car. I'm pretty sure the suspension, the shocks have been changed on this car in the past.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's a stock car.
Yeah. And even the wheels are stock?
The wheels are stock. I don't
Oh, wow.
I don't know if those are real Fuchs.
Okay.
Because they look way too new.
Yeah.
For this car.
Yeah, but
the offsets are wrong. Like the Fuchs sit in a bit further, these sit out a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't believe they're real, but you know what? They look amazing.
It looks amazing. It is interesting. I was asking you about this car. So where does it sit in the 911s? Because I asked you, I was like, ooh, this is not a 964, it's not a 930. You said it's just a 911?
So this is, yeah, it's just a 911. But this is kind of one of my. I own a 964, so I have to say like the 964 to me is the best.
Yeah,
but
same.
if I had, I've told guys this before. For everything I've done with my 964, if I had to do it all over again, start from scratch, I would look for a G50 transmission 911. 87 to 89.
Why? Interesting.
Because everything I did to my 964, I would have spent half the price
doing
it to this car.
Because like you were saying, you were telling me off camera, it's more expensive to do it to the 964 just because of how complicated
yeah, they're expensive to put into, the best mechanical position that you can, like doing suspension, engine, brakes, transmission on a 964 would cost you twice as much as doing all of that stuff on this car.
Yeah.
And it's basically the same car. It's got the same G50 transmission that the 964 does. It's got the 3.2 liter motor. The 964 had the 3.6 liter motor. Basically the same motor though. Biggest difference would be suspension. This one still uses the torsion beam suspension. The 964 uses the coilovers.
You have the accordion bumpers.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So you know what? Nobody wanted that years ago, but they've come back.
Really?
Come back. Yeah, for sure. They've come back.
The 964 bumpers I just prefer. They just look so much better.
They do. They look cleaner.
Yeah, these 80s bumpers. It's so interesting how they just come literally like 3 feet. It looks like 3 feet to me, but it's probably not. Almost a foot extra from where the car's hood stops.
It works.
So
they've been doing this since 1974.
Yeah,
right.
It's
15 years worth of front bumper on there.
Yeah, that's the only part that I'm like. But as you would see, the driving experience of this car, this is one of my favorite. I've driven two 911s, two classic 911s.
Two air-cooled 911s.
Yeah, and I would say even though this is not modified, this is still one of my favorite classic 911s that I have driven, or air-cooled 911s.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see as we go along.
Yeah, but to see my experience.
I was interested in what you thought of this car as a stock 911.
Yeah.
But also G50 transmission car compared to the 964. But we'll put you into something older.
Okay.
And see what you think of that.
Okay, yeah, I'm very interested to see just the variances between all the cars. because a lot of people think Porsches are all the same, pretty much. Whenever you go into, like, if you're not an enthusiast and you just see these cars from, like, I don't know, 20, 30 feet away, they basically look almost identical in, like, the 50 years that they made them. But they are, sorry, what is it?
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, that's one of the most recognizable shapes
of
in
a car.
automotive history,
Yes.
right, is this car.
But they are very, very different so far in driving experiences. They are just completely different. And it's so cool that, again, they just kept on refining and refining and refining up until today. You have the modern 911. It's just an amazing heritage and an amazing brand. And so, yeah, let's just do like a quick walk
Sure.
through from the front to the back before we get in and drive it. But yes.
So some of these cars, you'll notice some of them come with a lip spoiler and some don't. This one has a lip spoiler.
Okay, that was like a special option?
That was an option
Okay.
in these cars. Everything else is basically, they came with, I think factory came with 15-inch wheels.
Okay.
Right? I can't remember if 16s were an option in 88. I can't remember. Someone's going to tell me, obviously. But,
Yes, the internet, yep.
yeah, it's the internet.
And it has a sunroof. That's a factory option?
No, yeah, they were factory option, but they almost, I believe it was standard, the sunroof. You had to ask for no sunroof. So ask for a sunroof delete, right?
So the no sunroof cars are a lot more rare.
They're more rare.
Okay.
Yeah. The majority, I'd say 95% of them, if not more,
So are they
were
sought
delivered
after?
with sunroof.
Sought after more or no?
Today they are,
Okay,
yeah.
interesting.
Because they're rare, so now people want one. 15 years ago, when these cars weren't collectible, it was the opposite. Everybody wanted a sunroof. If you had a non-sunroof car, it'd be difficult to sell because people would be, where's the sunroof?
Yeah, and let's check out the interior because, so this looks different from the 964 that we reviewed because this one is actually completely stock. But I think it has a really cool and classy look to it.
So this is a rare option. The sports seats,
buckets?
the factory sports seats is a rare option, and this is sought after. These seats alone, I would say, I heard the last guy that sold a pair locally got like $7,000 or $8,000 for a pair of these seats. Yeah, they're sought after.
That's pretty cool.
You can't get these anymore.
I love the bolsters too. They hold you in so well. Yeah, you will see in my driving impressions, but like the bolsters hold you in so well, and I just love the style. They look awesome. They're
they're in great shape.
seat.
The whole interior's in great shape. I think it's all original. I can't see any signs of anything being touched on the interior.
Yeah, even
other
the
than,
plastics, the radio.
All the plastics are really, they stand the test of time. They're all hard plastic.
Yeah,
right?
that's crazy because like a lot of cars from like the older cars, a lot of them have cracked dashes. Like I have a 1982 Datsun 280ZX. The dashboard came completely cracked. My Jag as well from 72. Also completely cracked.
Yeah.
And so,
well, a lot of these would, if you get them cars that spend a lot of time in really hot climates, Arizona, California, Florida, if they're sitting in the sun, getting baked in the sun all the time, they warp and they crack. They dry up and they crack.
Yeah.
Luckily, this one's, I mean, this is our weather.
Yeah.
We're in Vancouver.
It rains every day.
It rains more than anything, so there's a lot of moisture in the air. They don't really crack.
And with this one, all the gauges work.
Everything works. Yeah. All the gauges work. All the lights work.
It's a beautiful interior.
Works, which is crazy. Most of them AC systems don't work in these cars. Everything works. The only thing we did was we changed the old. It had an old
radio
I don't
system.
even know, an Alpine, horrible looking thing in there. So we just put the Clarion in with Bluetooth. So
it looks
the guy's
great.
Phone.
And wow, like it looks really nice. Like there's not a lot of wear. And this car has 190,000 kilometers. Yeah, but it still looks great. I would, if I had just seen this car without looking at the kilometers, I'll guess maybe like 70,000.
Yeah, maybe 50 to 100,000 kilometers.
Yeah,
car.
it's
Easy.
a really, really clean car, and I love the black on black on black. Like everything is all blacked out, black specs. Forget about that blue bag in there. That's mine. So yeah, but it also has like 911s. They all have back seats, but you would not want to fit anyone you love back there unless they're kids. So they can fit their ish. Sort of.
Kids fit.
Yeah. Ta-da. So this is a 3.2 liter, right?
3.2 liter. Yeah.
Naturally aspirated.
Flat
cylinder.
six.
Yep.
Fuel injection.
Completely stock.
How
much power does it make again?
217 horsepower.
Okay. That kind of power sounds little, but as you would see in my driving impressions, I think it's sufficient for what this car is.
Yeah, and you can do things. You can
take
modify
the crap out of it.
Off of it.
Yeah.
You can put headers on it. You can change the muffler. You can change. I've seen guys put a different throttle body in it.
Okay.
You can get more horsepower out of these cars pretty easy.
Yeah.
You can chip them. It's pretty easy to get the horsepower.
Mm-hmm. But another thing.
But this one's stock.
Look at this. Look at this. The 80s bumpers. No. Like, it just sticks out too, like a little bit too far.
It's North American, right?
Yeah, it's a North American spec. Are these easy to take out or no?
Yeah, you can take them out. We've done it on a couple of, sort of like we did outlaw kind of builds.
Okay.
So we removed these, and you can even remove these. You can remove these and remove these. There's some big holes you got to fill.
So you're probably gonna have to fill it up, yeah.
Yeah, there's big holes you got to fill, but it does clean up the rear end of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it still looks amazing. Like minus
original.
That.
Why would you take?
True.
Yeah,
true.
I don't want to take them all.
That is very true. It's all original. Right? But there's just something just amazing about this car. Like the body style, the body lines. And is this the factory ride height too?
So these cars are really easy to adjust the ride height because they're sitting on torsion beam. It's so easy to adjust the ride height. So when they came into North America, no, they sat higher.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Even the Porsche dealers would adjust them immediately. Because
the stance is just right. Like, just look at that side view. The stance is just right. There's not too much wheel gap. There's not it's perfect. Yeah. So yeah, honestly, if I had the means to get this, I would just leave it as is. I wouldn't touch anything on this. So if I had multiple 911s, I would just have one that's just completely stock and just leave it that way.
I would do the exhaust though.
Oh, you would? Yeah. Yeah. But this is an amazing car. Yeah. In case you do not know classic Porsches, or all Porsches in general, they all have their keys for the ignition on the left-hand side of the steering wheel. And that is because...
Yeah? Why?
I do know why, which is back in the old days when they were doing like Le Mans, 24 Hours of Le Mans, the race actually started not from inside the car, but actually outside. So the drivers would run into their cars, start their cars, get in. And so Porsche figured you would save, even though it was 1 second or even that.
You could start the car and put it into
gear while you were still...
two hands, right? Yeah. Instead of starting the car and then putting it in gear.
Yeah, and they've just kept it like that. So all Porsches, even today, they all have, even the SUVs, the Cayennes, the Macans,
everyone.
They all have the ignition on the left side, which I just think is just really cool, and it's a pretty cool throwback to times of old. So I've talked too much. With that said, let us go for a drive. I'm so excited to drive this thing. So to drive, this feels very different from the other car.
Yeah.
I'll say it's because of like all the mods the other one had. Well, this feels smooth. I don't know. There's a feeling that the other one gave that this one is not giving.
This one, the big difference. I mean, that car was modified suspension, brakes, engine, clutch. There's so many things in that car that were modified. Yeah. The
other one, the clutch felt different. It sounded different.
Yeah, the clutch was heavier in that.
Yes,
one, right?
This is so light. And this one, the brakes feel a little bit like you have to like stomp on them more compared to the other one.
Yeah, they're great brakes even on this car, but it requires a little bit of effort. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit different. More effort.
Yeah, and I also noticed, maybe it's just me, but like the way the pedals are positioned too, it's like, I don't know, it's a little bit, is it different from the other one too?
It should be the same, but I can't remember. I think the other one, he put some some aluminum racing pedals in it, which might have moved the one
bit,
pedal.
Yeah, because this one, the pedal feels a little bit different from the other one.
Sometimes you can adjust the height of the brake pedal, like on a 964, you can adjust the height of the brake pedal so it's more in line with the throttle for easier heel and toe.
Oh, that's pretty cool. From the factory, it came like that?
Well, you can do it. Yeah, you can adjust them. Yeah.
That's cool.
And you can build them up. But these were also lighter than the 964.
Okay.
So they feel a little bit.
It does, yeah.
It does feel a little bit lighter.
Yeah, I can almost feel that little bit. I'm interested to see, like we're in traffic now, so we're in rush hour traffic. But I'm interested to see what this feels like compared to the 964.
So, I mean, this car's got some higher mileage, right? It's got 190,000 kilometers on the car, but there is no reason to open up the motor on this car because there's no leaking, there was no excessive smoking of the motor, none of that. So nothing was really done to this car. I mean, you can modify these cars. You can do a little bit. You can do some exhaust work. You can do different cams, like
performance-wise, it doesn't have any performance modifications or anything.
No, completely. So even suspension, you can feel it's kind of
it's squishy. I mean, it's like it's not. The other one had coilovers, right? Is it KW?
The white 964. KW
yeah, with this one, it just feels more comfy to ride.
Yeah.
So
it's actually, you could, I mean, other than sitting with a manual transmission car, it's a daily driver.
Yeah. It's very smooth, and the steering feels less. I don't know, because the other one, do you think that the steering was modified in any way?
Steering's not modified, but when you set up the suspension, like with the coilovers, and you set up the camber and the caster and all that, it makes the steering a heck of a lot more precise.
Yeah.
Right? It feels like more on rails. This one hasn't been, nothing's been done to it.
Yeah.
But you can get this car to feel exactly the same as that. That's pretty easy.
Yeah. I kind of like the feeling though. The other one just felt like it wanted to go. Like it just felt more raw.
Yeah.
This one feels more normal.
It's an easier,
it's so much easier to drive.
But you can do the exact same thing to this car that you did to that car.
Okay.
So everything can be duplicated.
But I don't know, there's something just good about this car. Again, comparing it to the 964, if I was in the position to be able to afford multiple 911s, I feel like I would have one car for that, like just a 964 or like something that I would do everything to, and one like this that I would just leave stock.
Yeah.
Because it's a good car, like it's a good car to drive.
It is a good, they're easy to drive. I mean, there's no power steering, no power brakes. That's another
This doesn't have power steering?
No power steering on this, no power brakes.
You see, I thought it had power steering.
Yeah.
Because the steering feels, I don't know what, if I haven't driven it like just in a parking lot or anything, so maybe I'll notice it there.
Yeah.
But in traffic,
once you're going
smooth. Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's no power steering at all.
Yeah, the big change between this and the 964 was power steering.
Oh.
And ABS brakes. They added ABS brakes.
And I'm guessing this one, like with this generation, you never had the option for like an all-wheel drive system, right? Because that came with the 964. That was one of the
that was introduced
on
the 964.
Yeah. But I like it. It's just easy to drive. With the other one, again, I think part of it was also the clutch. The other clutch, it's a big difference, I think, for me.
It was a bit, in my opinion, the clutch that was in the 964 was a bit too heavy.
Yeah.
It didn't need to be that heavy.
Yeah.
Even if you were going to go to the track, it doesn't have to be a heavy clutch.
Yeah.
You know what's going to be interesting? I'm glad you drove this car because next time when you drive an older one, I'd like to see your reaction when we put you into like an SC or something.
Yeah, that would be interesting to see the difference. So like with this one versus like the SC and all of that, what's the difference?
Well, I mean, as they get newer, technology gets better, right? Like, so the transmission in this one it's basically the same transmission as in the 964. It's called a G50 transmission. And it's not bad, right, for an old car.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
When we get you into an older one, depending on, you know, how well the tranny was maintained and if it was ever rebuilt, all that stuff, the shifting won't be as smooth.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I felt it there. The lack of power steering. Okay.
It doesn't go like a modern car, but it's quick.
No, it's
They're
not.
quick cars.
Yeah, it's not slow by any means.
No, not at all.
I think it's it's enough. It's not, oh, I'm gonna kill myself with this amount of power. So like on Sunday, I drove I think it was a 992, and oh my gosh.
Crazy.
It's so fast.
Yeah, like on a small street, you could be in big trouble.
Yes,
right?
It is, whoo. Yeah, and it was like it was like a 4S that I drove, the all-wheel drive. So that just felt like a bullet. But this just feels very accurate. It doesn't feel like it's too much. And yeah, you're right, like you do have to wring out the power a little bit. You have to like go higher into RPMs and all of that to make power, but
you got to work the car in order to get the speed out of the car.
Yes, and I do appreciate that too.
There is something to be said for these cars. You got to learn how to drive them. And like as an example, my 964, I used to I started going to the track with that car when there weren't a lot of expensive cars at the track. This was in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You fast forward, 15 plus years, and you go to the track today, GT3s dominate the track. Like every car at the track is a GT3 RS. Like there's Ferrari 458s, there's McLarens. Everybody's driving an expensive car, and guys would always say, like, when are you gonna get a newer car, get a faster car or something? Because I mean, in the corners I'd be really quick, but in the straightaways there's no way I can compete with all those guys, right?
No, those cars these days are just too fast.
Yeah, but I would always say, like, I haven't mastered my car. I haven't beaten my car. I'm not better than my car.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
So I said, until that happens, why would I change
something
my car?
else? True. Very true.
So I can always, if I become a better driver, I'll be quicker.
Yeah, the car doesn't make you a better driver.
Yeah. Well, it improves your lap times, but it doesn't make you a better driver.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I'm feeling it now. Yep. I'm feeling it now. Yep. The fact that it's a manual steering. Yeah, usually it's in parking lots that you can really recognize just what manual steering feels like. Again, the things I love about this car, probably the steering is my favorite. Not in parking lots, but just once you get going, it just feels, there's just a feeling that I just can't explain that I love about it.
Very mechanical.
Yes.
Like you're connected to the wheels.
Yeah, that's it. And then what else? The gear, I do like that it's not, again, probably the clutch compared to the 964. I like it that it's smooth and it's not super grabby. Is that the word? I don't know.
It's an easy car.
Smooth.
Like, it's actually an easy car to drive.
This is a good car. So like, if you're looking for a classic or a classic 911, you want the more old school, even than the 964, because the 964 is kind of like a mixture between, you have a little bit of a lot of modern touches. Yeah, but this is a great car. So if you're looking to buy this car, you can check out coremotorcars.com, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and is this going to bring a trailer, all that, or you're just going to...
It's just sitting on the website right now. I'd like to keep some cars in Canada if we can. But
it's pretty awesome. It's awesome. If you're interested, again, check out coremotorcars.com. I'll catch you guys on the next Golden Drive. Bye.